All right, I think we are live. Hello, Fred. Welcome to the stream. So you got here early. What is that, like a juicy hand? Whatever that emoji is. Well, welcome. We'll let some people stroll in here to kind of get moving. I forgot my coffee, actually. Let's see if I can get lucky. Maybe I can make a coffee request upstairs. We'll see how this goes. I probably could have planned better and made my coffee a little bit earlier, but that's all right. Hey, Zaid, how's it going? I am doing good. Just very busy this week. Things have started to pick back up, so I've been kind of like doom and gloom. Well, not entirely, but been a little like disappointed in sales recently in the last, especially last month. But they're starting to pick back up now, so I have to do a lot of planning and prep work. Printers are going on all cylinders, and I need to do some bulk orders so that way I can get prepped for really the second half of this month in December now. I'm going to have to go through inventory and parts and all that stuff and make some purchases. Local 2432, we are alive. Yes, welcome. Glad you are here. Yes, Fred, it is the waving hand. Maybe those are like the movement gestures. Jamie and Jasmine, how's it going? Let's see if I pronounce this right. Carpioman, hello, welcome to the stream. I'm not sure I've seen you here before, so welcome. Dennis, welcome to the stream. All right, we do have some modeling to do today. I am practicing doing, what do you call it? Practicing modeling some assets from games I like, and then trying to see if I can sell those online as well. So we're doing some practice there. It's a lot more interesting, or it's stretching my boundaries in the 3D modeling space because I've done a lot of like very functional dimensional modeling. Now I'm kind of like trying to practice the freeform hard surface modeling, which is cool. So we'll do some of that today. I've got another thing I am trying to model currently that then I can put up for sale. I always pronounce your name wrong, so I'm so sorry, but welcome to the stream. Let's see here. Carpioman says, what do you think about Bamboo's Labs A1 combo with the AMS? It's a great machine. I have the A1 minis. They're not on screen now, obviously, but they're over in the news section. I put a short out recently and talking about highlighting some of the storage that I built out over there. So that is going to be, I still have to set it all up, but I still use my A1 minis. I predict I'll have to be using those here this winter for orders, especially around Christmas and Thanksgiving coming up. And then I still might have to buy another P1S. We'll have to see, but I am ready to go if I have to do that. Good machines if you're just getting started. If you're just running PLA, I mean, it's a super easy machine just to plug and play and you're good to go. So if you can get it on sale, which it will be on sale come this Black Friday, I think, you'll be in a good spot. Zaid says Arc Raiders, and the answer is yes, it is Arc Raiders. It is that game, if that logo looks familiar. Casper, hello, welcome to the stream. Chad says hello. Hello, everybody. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to say I'm sorry every time I can't pronounce your name. Amazon is put on the back burner at the moment. I sat down and took an inventory of all the things that are going to make me, that I could be doing to build the business and get into a position that are going to meet my financial goals. And Amazon, while another place to sell at the moment, at this exact moment, is going to be an additional workload that I'm not sure I'm ready to set up at the moment. It's still there. I still need to do it. I still have the account, but I need to get photos done. I actually set this space up. I should reverse this. It's backwards on my screen. All of this for product photography, and yeah, I need to start doing that. I have like 3 to 5 products that are basically ready to go that I've just been kind of sandbagging and sitting on. So I just need to start taking photos. I need to start doing designs. Some stuff of that is very seasonal type items that need to go up like yesterday. And it is not advantageous for me to try to figure out Amazon at the moment, which I don't know, there's probably some loss there, but I think I'm closer to my goals than I thought I was previously. So we need to charge ahead and get stuff up. And that's going to be the most important. Raphael Rendon, welcome to the stream, says, what's your file management like? Focusing on organizing my 3D printing files this week for a better workflow. You're going to hate this. For me personally, they're just in a massive folder. I don't have any organization. Now, if I were to be working with somebody else, that would not work. And the reason why it works for me at the moment, while not being a good system, is on Mac, and I can test this out on Linux. I haven't done that yet. But on Mac specifically, they have really good search and fuzzy search functionality across the whole system. So I literally can, on my Mac, I can press Command Space to pull up the search bar. I can type in the name of whatever I want, and it doesn't matter where it's stored on the entire computer, it will pull that document up, and I can click Enter, open it in Bamboo Studio, and click Print. So it's actually not necessary for me to have it. What I'm more interested in is how I can quickly access it. So as long as you know where it is in an area, then you're good to go. But if you want to be specific, I would do it by project and then the STL files and the 3MF separately. Chad says, do you archive revisions or whatnot? Just keep it all in one pile. No, I don't really actually. Version history is not super important for me in my scale and the product set I have, for the reason of most of my products are generally one-off designs, and if I need to make a change on that design, then the whole design is going to be updated. So I won't ever need to go back and reuse that old file, if that makes sense. So I just update it, and that's what the file is from then on. I have had a couple products where I've needed to make different versions because they fit the same product but two models of it. And for that one, I have two versions, but that's because they actually fit two different versions of the same product. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, yeah, version history, I don't know. Could be useful if you're working on like a complex multi-part product, but not for my case. Kaz says Command Space for the win. Yes, and that's like one of the things that Mac does so well, is that they really make your files accessible and quick to search. You can 3D. Yes, you can 3D. Everybody can 3D. Hello, how's everyone today? I hope everyone is good. I am good. We are good. Okay, let's see here. Let's talk about next question here. Let's do that first. Have you ever done any vendor events or only online? So far, I've only done online stuff. I've signed up for a farmer's market locally. Still waiting for the application stuff to get done there. I should probably go over there and talk to them about it, because it's been a bit. But they do like street fair type things in the vendor event, in the farmer's market. It's not strictly, they have nights for makers and that type of stuff. And I've looked at some other ones. I just looked at doing another one recently, which is a good idea. It's like a high school event for vendors, but the upfront cost is $140, and which really, in the grand scheme of things, for how much you'll make, probably not. It's not a big deal at all. But the one thing that I found interesting was the minimum space that you're going to be renting out is a 10-foot by 10-foot square for your booth, and they want pictures of your booth and how they are. Now, I guess I could reach out and ask, but that's to be able to build out a booth in that size. I just don't know if I have the time between now and the beginning of December to do that. So I think maybe this is some stuff later on. And then they also want to know exactly every single product you're listing, and I have like a lot of products I would bring. So I think I need to do more research there. Again, like going back to the most important to least important. I think that one's kind of like middle of the pack. It would take a lot to learn in a quick period of time and could really suck a lot of energy into a question mark rather than into something that is going to provide a more predictable income, I guess you could say. So yeah, still not working there. Carpioman says you schedule make a video. Let's see. You schedule make a video how to move in Bamboo Studio. I'm not sure I fully understand the question, but when I make my files, I import the STL files, I slice it how I want, and then I save the 3MF. So all I need to do is open that up. I don't need to reslice any of the files. And then that 3MF becomes my project file. For some of my stores that I have multiple product sets in, I will actually create a 3MF file with every build plate has a different product on it with all the settings that I want. And then when I need to print from there, I literally can just open up the one 3MF file, select the plate, and then go and click print. That seems to work well and is pretty handy. Pretty handy. Okay, Doke. Let me go ahead and pull up some 3D modeling stuff here. Give me just a second, everybody. Do that, and then I need some reference photos for myself. Oh, we're gonna need to, there it is. Open. All right, so I've already made some progress on this model. So I like how it's coming along. A lot more freeform than some of the other things that I've done, which is actually really cool. Okay, I need to also open up the images, the other reference images I have. I'm like, look, the camera is right in front of my screen right now, like on the edge. So I'm like looking around it. That's kind of funny. Alrighty. Where am I going here? There we go. So some of this is going to be a little hard to share. You guys, I think, are just going to see the modeling side, and then we'll answer some questions as we go along. Kaz says, got an ad for pot/pans. I actually need new pans. You're not going to 3D print pans, though, are you? That would be disastrous. Can you imagine putting a PLA on the stove? Okay. This image is very small, so it's going to be a little hard to model. But what we're going for here is a slice, and we'll do another slice. Right about there. Mike says, and welcome to the stream, Mike. Do you ever place the photo in plasticity to model off? And the answer is no, I have not yet, but I know you can do like the 3-axis and then use that as your lines. The problem with the photos I got, well, actually I could just Photoshop them into the spacing that I need, but I haven't done that. I took some screenshots from in the game, and then I am using those references to model off of. So not entirely ideal, to be honest, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So I'm kind of curious if we can do... Whoa, whoa, whoa. That is what I want, I think. Nope. Let's make this a new body. do extrude. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. That makes sense. We'll do push. Okay, so pushing face, you can't actually make it a new body. That's interesting. I guess that makes sense. Mike says you can drag and bring and hit M and adjust the opacity. Oh, nice. I was curious about the opacity setting. I actually used an image to make, I'm doing it again, that the other night for some backgrounds in the photos. And that worked handily. I did use an image for that. So I think this needs to go about there, I think. That's cool. Sean, welcome to the stream. Says, do you prefer plasticity for all of your designs? Trying to see if it's good for specific measurements. I have been trying to use plasticity for all my designs. I did some 3D modeling in FreeCAD not so long ago, and I would say if you're kind of stuck between the different ones, try FreeCAD as well. It's a little archaic even in comparison to programs like Fusion 360, but it's a free form of modeling that you can use for parametric stuff. For example, though, if we just want to show you here, you can still do dimensional modeling here. So if I actually go back here, go back to the square. If I do that and press tab, you can do like 50 millimeters by 25. Then you can click here. Oop, that's the lines. You can do the face, extrude it up, and let's do 30. So you can be dimensional with everything. Now, if I, see if I can remember how to do this. Let's just pretend this face is set there, but I want these two faces to be like 10 millimeters off of each other. I think you can select this one and then this one, Control equals, nope, this one, equals, and then we'll do 10. And now those faces are 10 millimeters away from each other. So it's definitely been super nice for that purpose. Let's see if we can do this too. So if we put chamfers on that, and then we go ahead and let's try grabbing all three. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do equals 15. Oh, interesting. Let's try grabbing just those and doing 15 equals. Ooh, look at that. So that's cool, right? So you can bring the fillets as features with that face. Just press equals, and then we can do like 20. So you can be pretty dimensional. If you want to measure stuff too, like actually what I could have been doing here is drag there and there. What I'm trying to show you is there to there. So we can see our measurement. Now the one thing that's a little different here is you can create these measurement tools to see what that is, but you can't actually change it. You can't change it from here. Whereas a lot of other parametric software, you can like actually click on this value and then change it. You can't do it here. And I think I smell coffee. Oh my gosh. Oh, you're the best. Love you, ladies. All right, I'll see you later. Coffee delivery. She didn't even text me. What? Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes. This is hot. This is really piping hot. What was that? Oh. We use a mocha pot at home, and you know, you put it on the stove, and then the water boils on the bottom and goes up through the middle and comes out into the chamber on the top, and if you leave it on there, it just like boils the coffee. So it's a little toasted extra. That's okay. We're big fans of maple syrup in our coffee, so I'm sure that sweetens the deal. All right, and then Sean, the other thing I want to say about this specifically, and the reason why, because for me it was, okay, I have the parametric software with FreeCAD, and I was looking for something more freeform. Blender is the obvious go-to. Blender I've been trying to learn it on and off for years, and it just doesn't work with my brain for some reason. There's so many additional tools, and having to focus on the actual structure of the mesh and all the boxes and stuff, for me is really challenging. And it just was really like, I was trying to learn how to model while also trying to learn the mesh. And then like, they're like, well, don't make it too complex because it will slow everything down. So you want to make it kind of generic, not generic, but high level with your modeling. I don't even know the term. And then go ahead and add like a mesh subdivide on top of that. And like, whereas this program, you can just like model what you want, and it's going to figure all that out for you with math. And then if it won't work, it will just throw an error and say, hey, I can't do that, which isn't very often. So anyway, cool program. They also have a free trial for plasticity for 30 days. So if you're curious, you know, check it out. I am not sponsored. A Swins, welcome to the stream. It says, hello, can you see this? My last question didn't show, and the answer is yes, we can see it. We can see it, so go ahead and ask away. All right, we're gonna delete this thing here now. Next we gotta do these. I'm trying to find some bigger pictures for myself. And it ain't working. There's one. Oh, so it looks like I actually modeled this thing wrong. Right idea, but modeled it wrong. So let's do a Control R again, so we can do a isoparam. I don't even know what that technically. I know it's isoparameter, but I actually don't know what that is. Go there. Extrude this out a bit. Now, one of the things with this is I think it would be really cool to do it on a resin printer, or at a minimum, this will have to be a multi-part print. So I think I'm going to probably create them threaded to screw them in together. What it looks like is something like this. We'll go ahead and do Shift-I to imprint that curve onto the face. And now I can just grab this and we'll get rid of the plane, drag that down. Now we're talking. Now we are talking. This also needs chamfers, of course, because we aren't heathens here. Now it looks like there are these 4, that's not what we don't want that up here. Looks like there are 4, sorry, hold on a second. Look at, I'm like messing up my geometry. One of the nice other things you can do here is actually like highlight everything, which I did earlier. So for instance, if I do Control R and I just add a bunch of those, and let's say you don't want those at all, you can go ahead and select the whole body that the lines or curves are part of, and then do F and do delete redundant topology, and it will get rid of all the unused lines and curves on the model and clean it up, which I use semi-frequently. Super nice. I like that a lot. These kind of are in a funky layout, but that is how they actually are modeled. Now, let's go ahead and grab this face. I wonder if I can do... I need to figure out the hotkey to go on the side here. Let's see here. Better Sheets, welcome to the stream. You say, weird question, I know. Do you find yourself ever up at 4 a.m. and modeling something for fun that turned out pretty great? The answer is no, not because I wouldn't. I do stay up late, though, modeling stuff for fun. And yeah, so I mean, I do to some extent, but not till 4 a.m. Now that I have a kid, last night, for instance, is a good example. I was like, I'm going to get so much done. I'm feeling great, which you shouldn't work based on how you feel, but you know, if you feel good, take advantage of it. So I was like, I'm going to get a lot done today and stay up late, and that was the plan. And I proceeded to stay up late. And give me a second, guys. I need to change the file type. Proceeded to stay up late, and it got like 11:45, and I was like, you know, I could also just go to bed because I'm tired and I'm gonna have to wake up early anyway because I got first shift in the morning with my kiddo. So I was like, I'll just go to bed. But I did stay up late, you know, modeling and getting some stuff done, which is great. Raging Cupcake Girl, welcome to the stream, says, do you work in plasticity? I do work in plasticity. That is what I'm doing now. If you're asking, do I work for or with plasticity, the answer is no, I don't. This was a recommendation by actually Mike Lozano in stream here was constantly telling me I need to try this program for months. And then I decided to try it, and it is my favorite modeling program. It's just great. I should probably reach out to them and see if they'll give me a discount code for my community. But what I was modeling the other day is this, and this guy right here. Yeah, you guys can see it. It is a big chunk of metal, which it looks like metal, but I painted it. Did a few coats, different things, some weathering on it, and probably looks like a rusted gear, and that is because it is, yeah, just for reference. So I play video games, as I think many people do. I don't know, I know I've got a broad split of people on the stream here, but yeah, I like games. I play games with my buddies and have played forever, but a game called Arc Raiders came out recently. It's kind of all over the place, but it's probably like one of my favorite games I've played in the last decade. And there are some objects in the game that are ubiquitous in the community, and I figured I could maybe sell some of those things online. So this is one of those objects that I'm going to be putting online, and I also have I have a keychain for it. Give me a second here. I have some smaller keychains coming in the mail. But the goal here will actually be take a little bit of extra work because I am going to sell these painted. I have my own process, and I do hobby paints for like miniatures and stuff. So this will be, get my face out of that so you can see. A little keychain for the rusted gear, because the rusted gear is something that like everybody is looking for and it's hard to find. So I think it's kind of hilarious that you can just have a rusted gear yourself. And this guy is actually pretty chunky. It's got some weight to it. Alube Art says, speaking of games, the new Steam Machine got announced today, and it is an instant buy for me. My Steam Deck has been a lifesaver since gaming with the twins were born. I have been wanting a Steam Deck for so long. And yes, I saw the announcements today. The Steam controller for me is an instant buy. I loved the Steam controller when that original one came out, and they don't sell them anymore. And every once in a while, I'll pop on eBay and see if there's one for sale. But the reality is, I just never did. And now they're coming out with the new Steam controller, which is so cool. I mean, Steam controllers for me, I think, are just fantastic. I love Steam controllers. I think they're cool. I think the design is cool. I'm just a fanboy for the Steam controller. So to see them have a new one come out, definitely in support of that. And I will be buying that myself. Okay, let's go over here. Let's do 5. And then we're going to get back our rectangle. I should probably do some hotkeys for the rectangle. I use that one a lot. And we're looking at maybe 20. We'll do imprint again. There's some commands that you just end up using all the time in this program. So now this is actually, the push is going to give it the arc all the way to the center of that circle. So we're actually going to extrude that out. And we're looking at, Mike says, I would love to play Arc Raiders with you, bro. I appreciate the offer. Maybe down the road I can do like a community jam game session or something. But this is from Arc Raiders. So once I get this up on my store, you're more than welcome to, if you want to help support the channel. You know, I still have a little bit of work to do, but I'm hoping by the end of this weekend I can get this stuff up. Actually, here's the photos that I just took today, or last night, no, today. That's the other thing that I've been working on, is getting the photos up, which we can answer a question there. So here's the photo that I will be putting up with for the product, which I think is nifty. I'll put it over here. I think I was cutting it off. And this is, Mike says, I'll definitely like to buy if you autograph it. I probably can do that. But yeah, this photo is like the type of photography I'm like aiming to do. I think it looks cool, and it's got all 3 of the different ones in there. They're actually 2 of the same. But I did that with this setup over here. I've had some people ask me how I do my product photography, because I think it's a little bit of an elusive animal for this type of work, because someone might have a skill in 3D modeling, someone might have a skill in, or just interest in doing 3D printing, but not have the skills in photography. And Chad, to answer your question, what do I shoot my products with? It's this camera right here, the Osmo Pocket 3 that I'm currently using for my webcam. I also use it for my YouTube videos. I do every single thing media-wise for my channel and for my business on this little device. The link is in the bio. If you buy it through there on Amazon or whatever you get, I get a cut of the thing. But that is what I use. I used to have, and I used to use a big camera, like a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. And I'll tell you what, I tried to pull the whole Casey Neistat kind of thing, and after a while, it's just cumbersome. Like I can understand why he does it, and so many other people online use that setup. It is very professional. You get some blur in the background from this camera, but those you get beautiful bokeh in the background, clarity, contrast, just everything. But this little guy, for 99% of what people are going to do is so great. So that being said, anyway, I set this up back here. I put some tape or paper down. In this case, it's gray. I was at the photography store and asked them about backgrounds. I have some white paper as well for photography. And the thing to know is I think colors come out better on a gray background, because you don't have to, actually I don't know the reasoning why, but I've heard that grays can provide better pop for your colors compared to white. So I have both. I'm doing a little bit of both. And so that's the thing. Did an infinity wall, so I've got this little curve on it so you can't see it. And then, yeah, I just take my tripod, put my camera on it right here, and then I take the photos zoomed in. Another thing you can do, and this is true of an iPhone or the camera I have, put your camera further away and zoom it in really far. If you have enough lighting and everything, that is going to help make the products that you're trying to focus on in the front really separate themselves from the ones in the back. You get better bokeh and blur in the background, and it will give a different angle. If you're using like a wide angle lens, like think of it like a GoPro, and you're gonna have to get really close up, and your object just will look, it'll look small unless you're super close. But if you can zoom, that helps focus on what you're trying to showcase. So just a couple ideas. But anyway, that's what I use. It's simple. Chad says I use a Sony A7, but sold it because my iPhone does 85% of the work. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, the Sony A7. I mean, years ago, I was looking at those too, and I'm like, I can't justify spending 3 or 4 times the amount. I had a Sony A6300. That was my go-to for a long time. But anyway, next question says, NickLink726, hey Chris, I 3D print video game props and cosplay accessories on my Etsy shop. I always have been a little concerned of copyright problems, so I also put inspired by. Any advice on the subject? Yeah, do not, you definitely have to be careful with what you're making and how to make it. For me, like this one that I'm gonna be selling on my shop, I'm also painting it. But at the end of the day, this is a gear. Right? While it is inspired by an item in the game, and like the tooth count is identical and that type of thing, it's not like it is their logo or something. I'm not selling that. So definitely use words like inspired by and that type of verbiage. And then, yeah. And you also have to know who you're making around. If you go and try to make something Nintendo related, there's a chance that Nintendo will come after you because they have a business practice of doing so. So you have to kind of understand that too a little bit, but it's kind of hit or miss. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't really know how much to speak or, if I even have good advice on any of that stuff. So my apologies, but that's about all I can really say on the topic without knowing much more. So we'll go out 10. Javier, welcome to the stream. Have not seen you here before. Says, hey, just bought an Artillery X4 Pro S1 and it's supposed to arrive tomorrow. Fantastic. That's cool. Congratulations on your first 3D printer, question mark? That is a question mark. 3D printers are just such a blast. There's so much you can do with them. We're gonna do something like this. Something like that. And actually, this is where isoprene would be better. Something like that. I like it. Any tips for the Artillery X4? Unfortunately, I don't. I really only try to give some tips with the printers that I'm familiar with. I am not familiar with that one. So yeah, you'll have to come back and let us know how it is. Okay, let's see here. What I would say is with your first 3D printer, you have to print the mandatory Benchy, of course. That's important. Find some models that are going to be useful to you on MakerWorld and start getting used to that. And then, or Thingiverse or whatever you want to use. And yeah, I mean, it really comes down to just practice and printing. The more you can know about your actual print settings, and the settings in the slicer, the better off you'll be. What you'll find is that a lot of the models on those types of software and programs are not very well supported. We're not supported, but they're not very well made. So you'll get a feel for an eyeball on what type of models will have success and what ones won't. But that just comes with time and practice. I'm kind of having to make some creative liberties here. That's a sphere. Probably something. It's kind of weird that it oh, it's because the center point of that is not the, gotcha. Do that, then we'll do shift circle. Go out. Let's actually make it a hexagon. Do 6 sides. And we need to rotate this 30 degrees, I believe. So we'll start it out at like that, and we'll rotate 30. Love it when you start to know geometry and have some of it memorized. I think part of my issue here is that those faces, let's go ahead and push this back, are actually just too wide. Cool, that looks better. I like that. So it looks like from my photos that it's actually a circle, but then there's a sharp edge on it. Anyway, let me catch up with some of the questions here. Kaz says, do you use Shaper 3D on the iPad? Well, I'm phasing away from Shaper 3D. Just don't want to keep paying monthly and yearly for that. I did sometimes use it on the iPad, but the same thing with my graphic design that I do. I'm better at it on a desktop. It's much quicker to have keyboard access. The iPad still doesn't have the features. Like it's just slower for no reason other than it just is because of the UI. So, I mean, it was fun, and I was always like, this is cool, I can do it on the go. But the reality is when I'm on the go, I'm doing something else. So I just never ended up really using it. Fabio says, hello, welcome to the stream. Glad you can make it. So glad you can make it. Javier says, any preference in terms of CAD for beginners? A good YouTube tutorial will get you through most CAD, whether they say they're beginner or not. What I would recommend is start out on maybe, if you're brand new to CAD. Actually, let me ask you this, Javier, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. What are you actually trying to model? Because that will change my answer. Chad says, where did you learn to graphic design? Is that something you just really, I really need to brush up on? I taught myself. I've always kind of, done a little bit of art stuff over the years since I was a kid. Nothing like super fancy. Like when it comes to art things, I like to do pencil drawings. And I was in architecture, thinking of actually going to be an architect after high school, and did not end up doing that. So think of how architects draw. That's very similar to like the way I like to draw. So I kind of, I just started teaching myself. I mean, I have like where is it? I mean, I have too many things that I can use to write, but I have, a Wacom tablet that I use, and this is really my preferred method versus, iPad is great, but I have an iPad mini, which is, I bought it intentionally for its form factor and size, but it is, it's limited, and even like the Affinity software, which, there's a topic we could have some talks about. It's just not the same as the full-fledged desktop. I mean, it might have all the features, but if you're running it on a touchscreen mobile device, it's just still not the same. So that's what I'd say. Is find something to draw with, and then start using it on the on the computer. But teach yourself. It's not, if you learn the basic tools, especially in vector art, you can actually get a lot done without being like artsy. Because I do a lot of tracing too, so I don't feel like you have to. Rarely ever do I model or design without references. So you have to have inspiration from somewhere. Yan Yan Paki, I'm using Plasticity as my program. Dustin, welcome to the stream. I'm having trouble with people stealing my STL files on Etsy. They are for non-commercial use only. Any tips? It's going to happen. The only tips that you can do are to get a lawyer and sue them. And they know, most likely, that that's probably not going to happen. I only sell STL files for the models that I'm okay, that I know will eventually end up online, even though I tell people not to. So I actually, unfortunately, had somebody reach out for a product. They're in Canada. They really like one of the things I sell, and they asked if they could buy the STL file. And they don't even have a 3D printer. They said they're just going to be using one at the local library. And I had to say no, unfortunately, which really sucks because it's for a board game that I like a lot. and I really like being able to share that with somebody. And I was trying to think, how can I share it with them? But the reality is, it's one of my best-selling products, and if I sell the STL file, the risk of that getting into somebody's hands, especially with the fact that I literally make YouTube videos on how to run a 3D modeling, 3D printing business, I'm setting myself up to actually be in a bad situation on that product. So, yeah, I don't have any good tips for you other than the advice that if you're going to be putting STL files online, unfortunately, people with morals in the world are a lot fewer and far between than we think. There's a lot of nice people out there, but there's also a lot of people, or a fair amount of people, willing to, steamroll somebody else's creativity, work, and whatever to make a quick buck, and they don't care. They don't care. I have seen discussions. Some people just literally don't care. Even if you say they won't, you say, please don't do it. They'll say, I don't care, and they'll do it anyway. So the people like who do the snaky flex dragons and stuff, I forgot what the person's name is, who designs those models. They use Blender for reference for their modeling software. But they make a lot of money. But for those who do have access to the catalog and don't have a license anymore, or just illegally shared it, their business basically is now getting lawyers so they can, start to sue those people, which to me sounds like a nightmare. That sounds like a nightmare. So I'm sorry I don't have the best advice for you on that one. It's just kind of a bad situation across the board when that happens. You like to give people benefit of the doubt, right? But unfortunately, you can't always do it. All right, back to some modeling here. I think for ease of printing, we're actually going to make this. Maybe we can do it this way. Do 6th. So if I let it inset like this a little bit, and then I extrude that, it will actually make it a little easier to model or print, because it's going to have some something to hold on to. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. All right, we're going to go whoop, and it needs to go a little bit up. I like that. Let's do 65 because, oh wait, 70. Love it. Javier, sorry I missed your thing, says main goal right now is just to learn 3D modeling and printing overall, maybe useful items at my home lab. Yeah, I mean, that's how I started my store, and I still sell a lot of really functional print type stuff, so that's definitely a good way to do it. The other thing I would say about the STL file, so I have a product, one of the first ones I made that still sells fairly well here in the US. Nothing crazy, but I get like, I don't know, anywhere from 5, 10, maybe sales a month, even in the slow season for that product. Pretty consistent. Since I have come out with that product, there are like 6 or 7 other people who have copied me, and I featured this product on the channel a lot. And I still get sales on it, which I find, you'd think, oh, there's so many other people selling it, they're stealing all your sales, and they may be taking some of them. But I've clearly moved on to different products and that type of stuff. So if you go first in the marketplace with something and you build a reputation, I have a lot of really good 5-star reviews on the product. That's not something that they're going to be able to get unless, they're going to have to work to catch up on that front. So that's kind of nice because I have like a fairly secure spot in the market because of that. And I can still get sales So that's something to keep in mind as well. And this, we're actually still gonna extrude at 65. I was hoping, I guess what I need to do is actually go back and grab this circle. It's not the full circle. Circle, circle. Grab the circle there. Let's just isolate the circle for a second here. If I can isolate the circle. Okay, I think that's what I needed. We'll do 70. And then we'll just attach it like that. That's better. Let's see here. Something to keep in mind as I'm doing this. So you can see I'm pulling this fillet around. It's 1.4 millimeters. So as I'm designing this, I need to keep in mind, you know, fillets about 1 millimeter are nice. 0.5 millimeters are basically not a fillet or a chamfer at all. So I'm going to do a negative 0.5, which is a 0.5 millimeter chamfer, but that's really not a lot. Not much there. But we'll go ahead and do that. That will look cool. Give a little bit of texture, and then we can do that. Now let's go ahead and grab this. Not sphere, we'll do circle. And yep, I think this is about right. Okay, go back up to my top on the temp plane. We'll go here and something like that, and then we'll do mirror, pop it on over there. Now we can grab these faces. Something like this. So this is the one thing that I still need to figure out. I think there's got to be a way to do it. Let's go ahead and extrude and then grab everything. Oh, and that's not tangent. We want that to be tangent. Okay, so if I do, there's a tangent line, I think. No, there's not a tangent line. So if I click here, I think there's a way to make this tangent. All right, let's see what questions there are before I miss out. Jamie and Jasmine says, what do you think about commercial licenses on Etsy if some customers are interested to buy an STL file? You'll still run into the same issue. Licensing and contracts are only good as far as they are enforceable. As a small, independent 3D printing business, I do not have the bandwidth or money to enforce a contract. That's why I just try to avoid it entirely, because I just don't. If I have a bunch of people starting to steal my ideas, I don't have the ability to do that. So yeah, I just, again, try to stay away from anything that I don't want online. I don't share the STL files. So what I was trying to do here is make a tangent line to the circle. I would like it to be straight, so like comes off something, doesn't matter where it comes off of there, but it needs to go tangent. And you can add those extra control points or reference lines, but I'd like to get it tangent there. It's got to be a way. So, no, that's not going to be it. We'll just eyeball it, I guess, unfortunately. I'll have to look that up on a tutorial video. I'll do J to connect all those. And then we'll do mirror. Mirrored over there. Okay. Oh, that's why. It's not even on the same plane. My bad. So maybe tangent is still possible that way. It's just messing it up. Oh, there we go, tangent curve. See, I told you, I was like, this seems like it should be possible based on what I know of the software. That was my own error. Okay, so now we can grab this, extrude it. Can't extrude. Let's go ahead and grab these lines, and then I will interesting. I'll just go ahead and trim this up a little bit. Can't extrude a body with no manifold boundary. Oh. We have one that's a polyline curve. Let's do this. Okay, so we got that. Now we can do mirror. I'm clearly doing something wrong that caused that. The more you learn. Invalid selection. I would like to mirror this, please. Oh. See, it's my own modeling mistake. What was all that little gibberish down there? Now we'll connect those up. Did I do something wrong again? Man, you guys are getting to see all of it. Something's clearly wrong. I can extrude that. So we'll just extrude and mirror the part. So let's do we'll do 4, 3, I guess. No, we're gonna do 5 because, oops. What I'd like to show you, or what I'd like to do here, is grab this plane, and we'll do something like that. And then we'll do Shift-I. Now if I do QW, that's fine. Now it leaves this little like weird thing. So I could either like model that differently to clean it up, or I can just pull it across. So that's looking good. Let's go ahead and actually shrink this up again. And now we'll go ahead and grab this for mirror. On that face, QQ. And then we'll do the same thing. There's probably a much easier way to model all of this, but that is what I did. And now we can just go G, move it down a little bit. Something like that. Now it still needs a little bit of beautified to be here on the side. So let's go ahead and do QQ. We're going to go a little bit over on stream today because I want to show you one last thing in here. So we're going to grab this face, go ahead and do something like that. And then we're going to go to 1, which are control points, I think. I guess that's not going to work the way I want. That's fine. We're going to bring this in a -2. And we can actually just grab all of those. And that's not exact to how it is in the actual game model. We can fix that up a little bit here in a second. So technically, I should be able to do -2, right? Go. There. Something like this. All right, now let's go ahead and grab that's looking better. Like that. Cool. Anyway, so that's looking kind of nice, just like that. What I'm creating is an asset from a video game I like, so I can sell it as a little prop or something. My own artistic version of the asset will be cool. Kind of fun. To be honest, kind of fun. So anyway, that's the model that we're doing. Pretty nice to be able to like mess around and do some art on stream today. Updates for everybody. I'm trying to put out shorts every day. That's the easiest way for me to share info. I'm starting to actually answer your questions on those shorts. So if you drop questions on videos, they may just pop up as a 15, 30-second answer that you can watch on your phone or something. So keep an eye out for that. I am still in the progress of filming some longer form videos, and those will be coming out live stream next week at 3 p.m. Eastern. Like always, the week after that will be close to Thanksgiving, so a little bit different schedule. I'll talk about that in a little bit. We may just move the live stream or may just take a week off. Not entirely sure yet, but we'll see what to do there. If you want to support the channel, you can always go on support me on Patreon. There's a few things on there that you can get to help support the channel. And then, always keep an eye out. I will be talking more about some of these things where you can pick up some little, almost like maker coins, right? Or something like that to help support the channel and see some of the quality of work that I do. Kind of some fun stuff. Appreciate everybody being here. Like and a subscribe goes a long way too. Don't feel like you need to do anything in specific, but I think I'm gonna go and say hello to my kiddo and get back to work. I've got a lot of orders to do. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm signing off and we will see you on next week's stream.